The Labour leadership candidate Yvette Cooper has strongly criticised her left-wing rival Jeremy Corbyn, claiming that he lacks credibility and could never return the party to power. Mr Corbyn said he wanted to focus on policies, not personal attacks. One of the other candidates, Andy Burnham, said attacking Mr Corbyn risked misjudging the mood of party members for a change of direction. Here's our political correspondent Alex Forsyth.
They're the voters who'll decide the victor in what's been called the battle for Labour's soul. And she just made it personal. In Manchester today, Yvette Cooper launched her first direct attack on one of her rivals, claiming Jeremy Corbyn would lead Labour to oblivion.
That Jeremy is offering old solutions to old problems, not new answers to the problems of today.
Yvette Cooper's own campaign has been called lacklustre. Now she's selling herself as the visionary candidate.
We're going to be really radical. We've got to start from the world as it is today and the injustices that we face today, not think that we're fighting old battles from maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago.
This is who she's pitching herself against, Jeremy Corbyn, a veteran left-winger whose unexpected popularity has alarmed the establishment and electrified the race. He's unconcerned by criticism.
We don't do personal attacks, we don't do abuse, we don't do personal criticisms. Never have, never will. Life is too short for that. We do policies.
These policies are to some stuck in Labour's past, displayed on the walls of the People's History Museum in Manchester. But to others, the idea of pumping cash into public services, renationalising the railways and opposing military action abroad represents an inspiring alternative. Mindful of such support among Labour's grassroots, one leadership rival has warned against overt criticism.
Some of the warnings that we're seeing, the attacks on other candidates, on Jeremy in particular, misread the mood of the party, because all they do is reinforce the problem. There's a sense that the elite at the top of the party have been running politics in a certain way and the membership are crying out for something different.
But another claims a lurch to the left could render Labour unelectable.
Creating the good jobs of the future means backing high-tech jobs, modern manufacturing and our world-leading scientists and creative industries. It doesn't mean seeking to spend billions of pounds on reopening coal mines or renationalising vast swathes of the economy.
The rhetoric has hardened as the stakes have risen, but some fear Labour's tearing itself apart over its future.
The next Labour leader will probably only be a caretaker leader.
If the wrong leader is chosen now, it could do damage which could cost the Labour Party the next election.
The deep divisions at the heart of Labour have been laid bare by this leadership contest. The challenge for whoever wins will be whether they can unite the party again. Alex Forsyth, BBC News, Manchester.
Well, the Labour Party will begin sending out ballot papers tomorrow and the result of the leadership contest will be declared on the 12th of September. Christian Fraser has been looking at the candidates and their policies. Christian.
Sophie, thank you. Well, with a month of campaigning ahead, how do these four candidates stack up on the big issues? Let's find out, shall we? Starting with the economy. Now, Jeremy Corbyn, very much the anti-austerity candidate. In fact, he wants to print more money. We call it quantitative easing, not for the banks, he says, but for the people. Money to renationalise the energy companies or put railways back in public hands. Andy Burnham, like Jeremy Corbyn, wants a fairer tax system. And for top earners, that would probably mean a 50p top rate of tax. Yvette Cooper, not entirely indisposed to the top rate, but her campaign focused more on jobs, particularly jobs in the high-tech sector. And you're going to hear a lot from these two women about the need to win back the trust of business. To that end, Liz Kendall believes a permanent introduction of the 50p rate would be self-defeating, and she would pay down the deficit, incidentally, much quicker than the other three candidates. Let's talk briefly about the government's new welfare bill, especially that plan to limit child tax credits to 2 children. Now, you might recall that only Jeremy Corbyn rebelled and voted against it. The rest all abstained. Liz Kendall said she couldn't oppose the bill unless her party could show how to pay for an alternative. It is a divisive issue, welfare, among the four candidates. Now, with regards to foreign policy, realistically, I don't see any of these candidates arguing for an EU exit, but there are differences on defence, particularly between these two. Liz Kendall would maintain defence spending at 2% of GDP, whereas Jeremy Corbyn would cull defence spending, scrapping the Trident nuclear programme. He'd even withdraw from NATO. Now, clearly, we can't do justice to all the candidates and all the issues in such a short space of time. But I think you'd recognise already, as we've gone through that there's one very different radical programme here. And, of course, it's that one of Jeremy Corbyn. Has he played the best hand? We'll find out in a month's time.